Next is the Kew Carpological Collection, Clare Drinkell from Royal Botanic Garden, Kew.
Hello, good morning. I'm Claire and I work at Kew Herbarium, where the digitisation project, as we've just found out, has finally finished after 4 years, creating approximately 6.4 million herbarium specimens freely available online to support research. But sadly, the mass digitisation project didn't quite stretch far enough to include some of the ancillary collections. And this includes the carpological collection, affectionately known as the carp collection, nothing to do with fish. That would be strange in the Botanic Institution. These are plant specimens that cannot be pressed flat due to their 3D structures. It includes things like chunky fruits and lots of woody or spiny plant material. This bulky material is more often than not orphaned from their herbarium counterpart and cross-referenced as a separate collection. Unlike herbarium specimens, which are basically plants that have been squashed flat and mounted onto a uniform-sized sheet, the carpological collection is much more awkward to curate and house, and therefore presents different challenges. And that's part of the reason why it wasn't included in the Digi project in the first place. The fruits, etc., are generally stored in these quite expensive archival glass top boxes, of which we have about 15 standard sizes. These are then arranged taxonomically in drawers or cupboards wherever we can find space, preferably within proximity of their parent herbarium specimen. This is not always as easy as it sounds. In Kew Herbarium, sometimes the only space available to house the fruits and associated herbarium sheets can be in completely different parts of the building, make it almost impossible for researchers to cross-reference the two sets of material. So, for example, the Brazil nut pictured are housed in completely different area of to the counterpart herbarium sheets, which, sorry, the map's not the best, but the 2 stars signify the 2 locations. When names are updated on the sheet and not on the carpological specimen, that all-important taxonomic link gets broken. And over time, this has tended to result in the carpological collection remaining largely untouched, undocumented, forgotten by taxonomists, and sadly, digitally invisible for the time being. Yeah, this poor tomato is left behind. So anyway, during NATSCA 2023, the keynote speech, I recall Nigel Manton and Maggie Riley saying that to keep a collection safe, it needs to be seen. So as a curator, I thought I'd put this theory to the test. And along with a lot of collaboration, we started to put things into action. So how do you actually go about generating enthusiasm and interest to bring a collection into the spotlight, to make it used and hopefully one day digitized? And this is a question also I really want to put to yourselves, the audience, as well. So we already have taken tentative steps by recruiting 2 volunteers whose simple task was to dust and polish and make minor repairs to the carpological boxes. Unbeknownst to us, this actually set off a little bit of a snowball effect to the benefit of the carp collection. So following that, we recruited a 1-year sandwich student, Lucy Horton, to continue focused care on the carp collection. And to get her project noticed, we positioned her purposely in the main historic wing of the herbarium, where people would stop by, have a chat, see what she was up to, and even help out. And by the end of the year, the whole collection had been mapped. And so for the first time, we knew where everything was in the building. Major fruit families were connected with their herbarium material, and the whole experience documented in this blog post that appeared on Kew website. So Lucy also caught the carpological bug, yes, it's a condition, and even wrote her university dissertation on bignoniaceae fruits, beautiful big fruits. So more recently, the collection has been audited, and for the first time, we now know it holds a whopping 55,000 specimens. So it's a significant part of Kew collections. And despite everything, we've noticed that the collection is actually really appreciated and loved, but not only by the scientists, but also those beyond the science community. Recently, artists have been inspired by some of the extraordinary sculptural qualities of these beautiful fruits in the collections for their own artwork. So now, although the collections still require work and remain undigitized, I would like to encourage more collaboration to further utilise the collections. So if anyone has any innovative ideas, please come and have a chat during the break. And that's the end. Thank you. Natska, help us.